Money. Everybody talks about it, everybody chases it, and somehow everybody fears it. Some people pray for it. Others pretend they don't care, and a few even hide the fact that it controls them more than they admit. But here's the strange part. The same thing we use to pay bills, feed our families, give offering, help the poor, and build God's work is the same thing people blame for destroying lives. How did something so normal, so common, so necessary, become one of the most misunderstood topics in the Bible? And why does a single sentence, one verse, create so much confusion, arguments, and wrong beliefs, even among Christians today? Why do so many people read it, quote it, fear it, and yet never really understand what God was trying to teach? If money truly carried the power people claim, then why did God bless some men so greatly? Why did He entrust certain people with more than they asked for? And if having money is dangerous, why did Jesus Himself speak about it more than almost any other subject? These are questions most people never slow down to think about. But if you listen carefully tonight, you may discover that the problem was never the money in your hand, but something far deeper and far closer than anyone likes to admit. For we that is already among this new ministry, congratulations. But if you're new here, subscribe to this channel and stay connected for more divine impact. God bless you. Let's continue. Honestly, money's such a small thing on the surface, yet it shapes almost every decision a person makes. It decides where we live, what we eat, how we move, who we can help, and sometimes who we become. And even though we all use it every single day, it's strange how rarely we stop to think about what it actually represents. Because money itself is just paper, numbers, metal, and screens. It has no breath, no soul, no mind of its own. It only becomes something when a human heart touches it. We use money to build homes, raise children, support our churches, give offerings, make sacrifices, help the poor, and sustain the work of God. Without money, many beautiful things we enjoy would not even be possible. So why do people fear it? Why do some Christians see it as something dark or corrupt? And why do others chase it with an obsession that steals their peace? Maybe the real confusion begins when people forget that money is not a spiritual force by itself. It's simply a tool, one that reveals the heart holding it. The same money that buys drugs can also feed a family. The same money someone uses to boast can be used by another person to save a life. It is not the money that changes. It is the intention behind it. Think of Abraham for a moment. God blessed him with wealth, livestock, servants, land, and honor, not as a trap, not as punishment, not as a curse, but as a sign of covenant. Abraham didn't bow to his wealth. He carried it humbly, and God trusted him with more because his heart could handle it. And if you look closely at Abraham's life, his riches never became his identity. When God told him to move, he moved. When God asked him to sacrifice, he obeyed without arguing about the cost. Abraham had wealth, but wealth never had him. But compare that to many people today. Some get a little increase, a little salary change, a business breakthrough, and suddenly their faith becomes quieter, their reliance on God becomes weaker, and their confidence becomes louder. It makes you wonder, is the problem really money or what money exposes? This is why Jesus talked about money so much. Not because he hated it, but because he understood its power to reveal what someone truly values. He knew that where your treasure is, your heart follows. And the heart is what God is always watching. But before we go deeper, ask yourself quietly, how do you see money? Is it something you fear, something you crave, something you pretend doesn't matter, or something you've never truly invited God into? Because the truth is, money becomes dangerous only when the heart is untrained. A man who never learns self-control will use money to feed his weaknesses. A person who ties money to their identity will look down on others when they rise. Someone who believes money guarantees safety will discover how quickly it can disappear. And a heart not surrendered to God will turn blessings into idols. Yet when a person understands money the right way, something beautiful happens. Money becomes light, not pressure. It becomes a channel of blessing, not a weight on the chest. It becomes something God can trust you with because He knows it won't pull you away from Him. Think about Joseph in Egypt. He went from prison to palace, but the wealth God placed under his authority did not change his character. He handled resources that could feed or starve nations, and yet he used it with wisdom. Joseph understood what most people today miss. Money is responsibility. It's not a trophy to show off. It's a tool God puts in your hand to solve problems. And then there's Solomon, a man blessed beyond measurement. But do you notice something? God didn't give Solomon wealth first. He gave him wisdom. Because God knows, if you give a wise man wealth, generations change. If you give a foolish man wealth, destruction follows. Solomon's riches were simply the fruit of the wisdom God planted in him. But this raises a question many people are afraid to ask. If God blessed Abraham, if God elevated Joseph, if God enriched Solomon, if God rewarded the faithful servants in Jesus' parable, then how can money itself be evil? People misunderstand because they read a verse without reading the heart behind it. And sometimes we quote scripture not because we understand it, but because someone else said it with confidence. Meanwhile, God keeps trying to teach us something deeper, that money is not the enemy. The heart without discipline is. Even the Israelites knew this lesson. They came out of Egypt with nothing but cries and exhaustion, but when God took them into the promised land, He gave them vineyards they didn't plant, houses they didn't build, wells they didn't dig. God didn't bring them into lack, He brought them into abundance, and He warned them only about one thing. When you have eaten and are full, do not forget the Lord. Because money does not change you. It amplifies who you already are. And maybe that's what many people overlook today. Money will reveal whether you are grateful or entitled, whether you trust God or trust the bank account, whether you give freely or hold tightly, whether you serve God or serve your desire for more. The danger is not outside, it's in the heart. And if that heart is not surrendered to the one who gives, money will twist your vision without you even noticing. But if your heart is aligned, money becomes something entirely different. It becomes an opportunity, a seed, a tool, a blessing, a responsibility. Something God can multiply because He knows it won't pull you away from Him. So before we even define what money truly is spiritually, pause for a moment and think. Has money ever made you feel less than others? Has it ever made you feel more than others? Has it ever whispered lies about your worth? Or have you allowed it to dictate your peace? Because tonight, we are going deeper than the surface. Not to fear money, not to worship money, but to understand what God truly intended when He placed resources into human hands. And when you slow down to think about it, it's almost strange how money works. You can hold it in your hand, yet it controls things far bigger than your hand can carry. People chase it, fight for it, pray for it, even lose sleep because of it. But the Bible has always placed money in a very simple category, a tool. A tool that can build, or a tool that can destroy. A tool that can open doors, or one that can lock a destiny. A tool God can use to bless, or a tool the devil can use to tempt. Because from the beginning, God never hid His mind on resources. He said in Haggai 2:8, "The silver is mine, the gold is mine," meaning man might hold money, but God still owns the system. So whenever money starts controlling a person, something has already gone wrong. Money doesn't break people. People break themselves because they stop controlling money. And if you look carefully through Scripture, you'll see God always tested people with resources before he gave them responsibility. It's why Abraham could offer Isaac without argument. He had mastered something many Christians still struggle with, understanding that possessions are not identity. That's the same reason Job could lose everything and still say, "The Lord gave and the Lord has taken away." That kind of peace is only found in people who refuse to bow to money. But not everyone passed that test. Think of Gehazi, Elisha's servant, a man standing beside a powerful prophet, seeing miracles every day, having access to divine wisdom. Yet his heart was secretly tied to wealth. Just one opportunity, one moment, one chance to grab what wasn't his, and he fell. All Naaman did was offer a gift. All Gehazi needed to do was walk away, yet he chased after it, lied with confidence, and collected what God himself rejected. And the painful part is this: he didn't just collect money, he collected Naaman's leprosy. Money didn't destroy him, his desire did. And the same pattern appears again in the New Testament. Judas was not a wicked man from the beginning. He walked with Jesus, heard every sermon, watched every miracle. He even held the ministry's money bag. But that tiny greed he never dealt with became the door the devil used. The Bible didn't say Satan came to him once. No, it said Satan entered him. Why? Because the price for betraying Jesus was already inside Judas before the priest named it. He thought he was collecting 30 pieces of silver, but he was actually selling his soul. And that's what makes money dangerous. Not the amount, but the place it sits in your heart. Even today, God watches the same thing. Because money is not just physical currency, it's influence, access, favor, opportunity. Some people don't bow before idols, but they bow before wealth. Some don't worship carved images, but they worship their business, their account balance, their reputation, their success. That's why Jesus said, "You cannot serve God and mammon." He didn't say should not, he said cannot, because the moment money becomes master, God automatically becomes secondary. And the truth is, every time God blesses you, something invisible also happens. Your heart is tested. Tested to see if you will still obey. Tested to see if you will still give. Tested to see if you will still be humble. Tested to see if you will still trust him more than the thing he placed in your hands. Because money exposes people faster than trouble. Trouble shows your weakness. Money shows your heart. And when you begin to look around in our world today, you see the same danger repeating itself. People cutting corners because of pressure. Families fighting because of inheritance. Friendships breaking because of transactions. Churches shaking because of offerings used wrongly. Young people rushing to make wealth without building wisdom. Everybody wants the fruit, but nobody wants the roots. But in God's kingdom, wealth is not a goal. It is a responsibility. If it enters the wrong heart, it becomes poison. If it enters the right heart, it becomes ministry. And that's why God said in Deuteronomy 8:18, "Remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you power to get wealth." Not power to chase it blindly, but power to manage it, power to handle it, power to not let it swallow you. Because money can lift a man faster than prayer and destroy him faster than sin. And most people don't even notice when the shift begins. They don't notice when money moves from tool to God. They don't notice when discipline turns into desire, desire turns into obsession, and obsession turns into bondage. And if you look closely enough, there is always a warning before the fall. The warning does not come as a shout, but as a soft whisper in the heart. It appears in the choices you make quietly, in the desires you carry silently, in the subtle shifts of trust you might not notice. The Israelites in Egypt felt it in their labor, as day after day they carried stones, built cities, and served a kingdom that treated them as tools. Their hands moved, but their hearts longed for freedom. And even when God delivered them, when he parted the waters and made a way, the challenge did not vanish. They had to learn to trust the provider with every breath, every blessing, every step. Money works in a similar way. It is not inherently evil. It is not a god, nor is it the enemy. Money is a tool, a powerful tool, and like all tools, it can build or destroy, depending on the hands that use it. When handled with wisdom, patience, and faith, it becomes a channel for blessing. When handled with fear, greed, or pride, it becomes a mirror, revealing the places in our hearts that are still untamed. So tonight, let reflection settle deep. Consider these dangerous points. 1. When money replaces trust in God. What it is, relying on wealth for security, guidance, or confidence instead of God. Why dangerous? Your heart begins to follow possessions, not the Lord. Decisions, peace, and priorities shift from faith to fear of loss. 2. When money becomes an idol. What it is, loving, pursuing, or prioritizing money above God. It becomes a false god, subtly controlling your life, shaping desires and decisions. 3. When money makes people proud. When money makes people proud, what it is, letting wealth inflate self-importance, arrogance, or entitlement. Pride distances you from God, others, and true purpose. You start measuring success by possessions, not obedience or faithfulness. Like Nebuchadnezzar, who grew proud of his kingdom, forgetting God's hand. 4. When money blinds people to their own hearts. When money blinds people, what it is, allowing wealth to cloud judgment, ethics, and compassion. You lose perspective. Moral compromise and spiritual blindness appear gradually. Just like Judas, walking daily with Jesus, yet blinded by greed, ultimately betraying him for silver. Ask yourself honestly, where is my treasure? Who rules my heart? Let this reflection guide your actions. Let it guide your giving, your saving, your spending, your planning. And finally, remember this. Money is never the master. God is. The tool is neutral, but the heart decides the outcome. Receive blessings with gratitude. Handle wealth with humility. Give with joy. Trust with confidence. Let generosity, obedience, and faith define your life more than the sum in your hands. Friends, if this teaching has touched your heart, share it with someone who needs it. God's truth about money can quietly change lives. For more lessons that strengthen faith and guide your choices, subscribe now and let His wisdom lead every step of your journey.